From the beautiful city of Los Angeles, California, we bring you the Gimme 3 podcast. Hello and welcome, cinephiles, cinema lovers, and movie appreciators to the Gimme 3 podcast. It's your go-to movie podcast where we pick 3 films connected by one theme. I'm Nicholas Ibarra, and I'm joined by my Vogue co-host, Bella F. Stratus. Ooh. Bella, how's it going today?
It's good. Yeah, today's been great. We're recording this on Mother's Day.
Yes.
So just want to shout out Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and my mom. Love you.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day, since this will be coming out on Wednesday.
Right. You know, it's very appropriate that we're recording this on Mother's Day, actually.
Why is that?
Well, because the person we're talking about is Mother.
Mother Mary.
Mother Mary as well.
Yeah.
Which I've been meaning to see. I haven't seen.
I know, I wanted to see it.
I think I missed it. I went to I literally was looking up on my AMC app yesterday to try to catch Mother Mary, and it's not there anymore, which is so sad.
It came and went very fast.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it is. Well, as we talked about last week, this year has been, it's been a little rough on people. So, 2026, we've got notes, there's been some flaws in the grander landscape of 2026. I think we could all agree. But one of the wonderful things about 2026, it's the year of Anne Hathaway. It is a year of Hathaway. And that's because this brilliant, prolific, esteemed actor, one of my personal favorites of the modern era, she got not one, not two, not even gimme 3. She got gimme 5. 5 films that are being released in 2026.
Wow.
As we said already, yeah, Mother Mary came out this year. Devil Wears Prada Part 2 has already been released. As of this recording, that film has already grossed over $268 million worldwide at the box office. And then later this year, we will see her in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. She's also going to be in The End of Oak Street and Verite or Verity. I'm not sure how to pronounce that title, but I hear it's going to be sexy. So I'm into that. And today we're going to explore some of the films that made Anne Hathaway into the powerhouse superstar that she is today, including her breakout hit, The Princess Diaries, which you, our audience, voted for. The Devil Wears Prada, the modern classic, and the intense and emotionally deft performance of Rachel getting married. Anne Hathaway has been a staple in the comedy world, not just with some of the films that we're talking about today, but other films like The Intern, Bride Wars, Get Smart, which I never saw. She's even slid into that rubber suit to play Catwoman in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises. And throughout her career, Anne Hathaway has also elevated so many incredible films in supporting roles. Films like Todd Haynes' Dark Waters, James Gray's Armageddon Time, which I thought was great. And, of course, Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain. Mm-hmm. And, of course, we must mention her Academy Award-winning performance in Les Miserables. I don't like that film because I can't say the title.
You know what? Fair enough.
But she's great in it.
Oh, so good.
So, and clearly Miss Hathaway is just getting started in what has already been an amazing career. So, Bella, I think I can guess what your introduction to Anne Hathaway was, but any broad thoughts on Miss Hathaway and her career?
Yeah, no, I'm sure you can guess. Yes, Princess Diaries was my introduction, and just immediately fell in love with her. She also, this will tell you a lot about the kind of kid I was, but I would always just try to, for fun, like in a car ride with like a long road trip, I would think about who I would cast as my family in the biopic about me. And I always picked Anne Hathaway for my mom. I love her so much, and everything I've seen her in, I was just like always so drawn to her. And so, this also just goes along with us recording this on Mother's Day. She makes me think of my mom, and I adore her. I look up to her so much. Also, I want to shout out Ella Enchanted, which I really wanted to pick for this episode, but it's maybe like not. It was Ella Enchanted or The Princess Diaries, and one is just a little bit more known than the other, I think. And then also we agreed that Ella Enchanted could be saved for a future episode. So all you Ella Enchanted fans, I'm with you. Don't worry. You will have your time as well.
My introduction to Anne Hathaway was actually, I think, in Brokeback Mountain. Actually,
Oh wow! Okay,
I think that was the first film I saw her in, which was also a very important moment of my life, because I watched that movie, and that was a moment where I really knew that I was not gay, because I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal, you're leaving her for that dirty cowboy? You are crazy, bro.
Oh, she's so cute in that movie.
She got that cowboy swagger in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cowgirl swagger, rather.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a tremendous actress. So much to choose from. So many incredible films. So maybe this won't be our last Anne Hathaway episode. Maybe we'll have to do a Anne Hathaway year in review episode towards the end of the year, since she's in so many dang movies this year.
Yeah, honestly.
So we're excited for the year of Hathaway. By the way, I saw Devil Wears Prada 2, and I enjoyed it.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I've been kind of waiting to suss it out from those I trust, and so now I will definitely go see it.
I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yay, that's wonderful news.
Yeah. So anyways, let's get into it. Give me 3 Anne Hathaway films. And we are going to start with the film that earned Miss Hathaway her first Academy Award nomination, for the film Rachel Getting Married, which is directed by the prolific Jonathan Demme, and written by Jenny Lumet, daughter of Sidney Lumet. Rachel Getting Married, it's a heavy film, for those of you who don't know. It's a big weekend for the Buckman family. And Anne Hathaway plays Kim, who is being released from rehab just a few days, mere days, before her older sister Rachel is getting married. Hence the title, Rachel Getting Married. Not only is she getting married, she's getting married in their childhood home, which is like so intense. But because Kim is getting out of rehab, and because of an incredibly dark past, which we discover more about later, Kim is kind of persona non grata during this very busy weekend with a lot of people. It's a very intense situation. Like, if you have anxiety or are uncomfortable around a lot of people, this movie is going to give you some stuff to deal with, because it's just like always lots of people in small rooms.
Yes, absolutely.
Her father, Paul, can't take her eyes off her. He's always got to keep one eye on her at all times, so she always feels like she's being watched. Kim feels like everybody's watching her, really. She believes that she's the focus of attention because of her past, because of her sobriety, because she's just gotten out of a rehab. But her sister, Rachel, does not hesitate to constantly remind her that, no, this weekend is not about you. This weekend is about me and her soon-to-be husband, Sidney, who's played by Tunde Adebimbe of TV on the Radio fame, who he just seems like such a wonderful man in this movie, and he's coming into such a intensely dysfunctional family. I'm like, this poor bastard.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he handles it with grace, to say the least.
So throughout the weekend, you've got these rehearsal dinners happening, pre-parties, and just this ticking countdown of the wedding. And things grow more and more intense and uncomfortable as Kim's anxiety becomes just so palpable. Lies and betrayals from the past are uncovered. family trauma rises to the surface. Family trauma, like the fact that Kim is responsible for the death of their little brother, Ethan, when she drove their car off a bridge while she was high back in the day.
Mm.
So, yeah, if you are about to get married, don't watch this movie. we rewatched this movie. I hadn't seen it in over a decade probably, and I watched it with Sonia, and she was like, good God, I'm glad we didn't watch this right before our wedding, because there's some movies to watch before your wedding. This ain't one of them.
So true. Yeah.
But Hathaway's incredible in it. Frankly, everybody is just outstanding in this movie, and as I mentioned, it earned Anne Hathaway her first Academy Award nomination. The film is just a masterclass in performance, blocking, chemistry, backstory, just direction, basically.
Yeah.
Bella, what were your thoughts on Rachel getting married?
Yeah, I was blown away by this. I am glad that I waited to watch it until I did. I'm glad I didn't stumble upon this as a teenager, because I just, with the subject matter, I don't think I would have been able to fully understand and appreciate all that this movie does.
Yeah.
As much as a teen. There's so much to unpack as well. I actually don't even know where to start with this, because, I've seen it only once now, but I already want to come back to it. And I feel like I haven't stopped thinking about it since I watched it earlier this week. It's just so heavy, but also the moments of joy in it. I think because it's so heavy and you're stuck in this house with this family that's just always on the brink of a disaster.
Yeah.
That the moments of peace are even more peaceful than they really are. They're not even that joyous or peaceful, but when they are happening, you're just oh, thank God. Okay,
right.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So that was just insane to watch. And then also, I love the pseudo documentary style of it. The handheld camera work is incredible. I felt so engrossed in this movie, so immersed in this movie, I should say. It just felt so authentic. And the camera work really puts you in the room to the point where I felt like I was if the camera would move over to the side or the corner, near a door, I felt almost relieved, because I was oh, okay, they're letting me leave this space.
Mm-hmm.
And it never once even occurred to me to just pause the movie or take a break. Right. It was just I am stuck here, for better or worse. And that is pretty amazing to achieve.
It kind of reminded me of a John Cassavetes film in that way.
Oh, yes.
Where
it did make me think of that one that traumatized me. We watched Woman Under the Influence.
Yeah. It really feels like the actors and the story, obviously, but the actors through the story are just commanding the piece, and the camera is just along for the ride. And like you said, you feel kind of like a fly on the wall sometimes, perhaps, a fly that I'd be I don't really want to be on this wall right now, but
anywhere but here, please.
But, I put in my notes, or the first note that I put down was, she's a ticking time bomb. And that's really how this film feels, and Anne Hathaway's performance feels, because just the moment that we meet her, you can just tell that she is going through all kinds of shit and all kinds of trauma, that maybe she's clean. She's 9 months sober when we come into this story, which is amazing for her. But you can tell that she's not really dealt with a lot of the grief that has come with some of her choices of her past. She shows you that she's got all of that, from the first moment we meet her, right when her dad picks her up in the car. You could just tell she's just crawling out of her skin, and she's just bouncing off the walls. And you're just I've met people like that, and it is just oof, take a breath, sister. Let's have some tea here and talk about it. You feel for her, but it's also maddening to watch her.
Totally. Yeah. You're that was one thing I loved, is because we start with her at first I feel like the film aligns you with Kim, her character.
Right.
And so everything that she's experiencing, you're experiencing. And so I felt like her dad and her sister were almost like the enemy at first. And I was like, oh, your sister's such a bitch, or like your dad's being so annoying. And then as the film goes on and you get to know these characters more, it becomes even more just human, because you're just like, oh, now I'm starting to understand what's going on here and why her sister's reacting this way. And maybe she's actually a great person. And like, just the journey it takes you on is so, it really fucks with you. Like I went from like being like, oh, your sister's such a bitch to like, wait, maybe Kim's a bitch. And then I'm just like, oh, you can't think in this like black and white way, Bella. Like they're just people.
They're just people who are all fucked up and all going through, all dealing with this trauma.
Yeah.
There is one scene, where I was just like, oh my God, please sit down and shut the fuck up. It was when Kim was giving her speech at the rehearsal dinner. And I'm just like, no, God, please, somebody stop her. It's so brutal.
Hello. Relax, it's Seltzer. Hello. I'm Shiva the Destroyer and your Harbinger of Doom for this evening. I would like to thank you all for coming and welcome you, even though I haven't seen most of you since my latest stretch in the big house. But you all look fabulous. So during the 20 minutes or so that I was not in the hole for making a shiv out of my toothbrush, I actually did participate in the infamous 12-step program. 12 steps. Step will change, step will change. I'm still waiting for the change part. So, but as they say, that relapse is an almost always inevitable part of recovery. So I get high marks in that mode. Anywho. As more of you know than are likely to admit, one of the actual steps, is about making amends. So, I did a lot of apologizing to people, some of whom barely remembered me, most of whom barely remembered anything. And I apologized for bouncing a check or passing out in their bathtub or flooding their house. And, just basically for involving them in sordid activities that they were desperately trying to forget. I had to call this one girl who was, I think 14, but she couldn't come to the phone, actually, because her mom had taken out a restraining order, but anyway, so I spent a lot of time. The point is, I spent a lot of time apologizing to people who were pretty much perfect strangers. So I would very much like to take this opportunity to not only congratulate my extraordinary sister, the future explorer in matters of the mind, thank you very much, and her adorable impending husband on the occasion of their unprecedented nuptials, but also to apologize to said extraordinary sister, future explorer in matters of the mind, for what? I don't know. Everything. And I really mean that, Rach. I've been a nightmare, you've been a saint, and I'm really just so damn glad to be here with you and Sydney's family and our family and just everyone's together, and it's really great. It's just, so I am hereby raising my seltzer to my laudatory sister and herewith making amends.
It's so brutal, especially it's after you hear all these amazing, beautiful speeches. Like the speeches feel so real and authentic. You hear
Oh,
this
yeah.
speech from her father, and his performance in that moment is just like so true. And he's like, voice is shaking, and he's welcoming the two families together. And then like, it's just like all these great, great speeches. And then she comes in, and it's just like, she just makes it about her. It's all about
Yeah.
her. And you're just like, oh my
Yes.
God, you are doing what your sister said you are doing.
Yes.
It's like you're making it all about you, which is shitty, but it is. It's just that is very shitty thing, selfish thing to do. But you feel for her because it's like she just got out of rehab and she's coming. It's just bad timing,
Right. It's like what she did is logical in a way.
No,
Like it makes perfect
sense for her character for sure. It's just
But
sometimes in life, shitty timing occurs, and this is one of those times where she got to get out of rehab perhaps too early to attend her sister's wedding, and she's trying, and she's fucking up, but she's trying.
Yes. Oh my God, that scene is so brutal. Also,
It's
like right
brutal.
before that, I think one of the true villains in this, not that anyone is a villain, but if there is one, I think it's the friend who at first I thought was like their third sister that they just don't care about. But I think she's just their friend, right?
Right. Yeah, it's Rachel's best friend, yeah.
She made me so angry, and the fact, like, her story was kind of cruel, I thought. Her speech.
She talks about driving.
She talks about how the sister, Rachel's such a good driver.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you don't know what the end result of the car crash was, but you know that she crashed a car when she was high.
Right.
And so you're just like, oh, this is so awkward. And then it's going to feel, because Kim's not just going to like take that. Like it almost feels like a jab at her. So she's going to get up and say some shit at some point. But what she does say and for how long it goes on, you're just like, oh Lord, please stop.
Yeah.
But that friend was, I hate her. She had to go. She was just in the way for everything. Maybe they needed her as like somewhat of a mediator, but she wasn't even good at that. She was just like.
But you know what? It's like I also like she also seemed so real to me, where it's just like, again, you have to think about what this family went through, later Rachel is talking about just like how after the tragedy that happened, after they lost Ethan, and Kim goes down her darker path and ends up going away to these different hospitals and rehabilitation clinics. And of course her parents, then split up, and they both kind of shut themselves off because they're dealing with this trauma in their own ways. So Rachel is kind of left, there alone, which is sad. Again, from Kim's perspective, yes, that best friend is a total bitch. But I was trying to view it from Rachel's perspective, and it's like I got the sense from their backstory. I was able to glean like that is the one person who was like actually there for Rachel, like when she was going through that, and so she's probably very, very defensive of Rachel and her feelings and this whole weekend, because Rachel deserves this. She deserves this good man. She deserves this weekend, and here comes the hot mess that is Kim to fuck it up.
Fuck it up, yeah. No other way to say it. God, that's such a good point. Like, she is kind of the only character who does defend Rachel. Like, even we see that with the dad.
Yeah, the
always
dad
chooses Kim's side. So she's there for a reason. And I think, okay, yeah, maybe that's why I take it back. She's not a villain, but through Kim's eyes, she's the worst. But yeah, there's so many distinct relationships at play here that you kind of have to. I love how they're not explicitly laid out for you. Like, you almost just have to. It's like a puzzle that you're putting together based on each interaction.
Exactly, which is just so wonderful. It's like I said, it's a masterclass in backstory, because there's clearly all these elements and sub stories and things that have happened in their past that they don't talk about, but you can see like what is going on with the mom, like all kinds of like unresolved issues and like, but you don't need to know what it is. You just need to know how it's affecting the characters, and you see how it's affecting the characters and how it has affected their lives, which is almost more powerful, because then that allows the audience to relate to it more, because perhaps they can input their own personal experiences into that kind of stuff. It's really wonderful writing to be able to pull that off. And directing.
100%. Yeah.
And performing, obviously.
Yeah.
Filmmaking. That's the word.
It's all of it.
Yeah. I have 3 pieces of trivia here that are kind of each lead into some other things I want to touch on. So it just so happened that the 3 pieces of trivia are some conversation starters here. So here we go. Give me 3 pieces of trivia for Rachel getting married. I want to play a game. Piece of trivia number 1. I thought you might enjoy this one, Bella, since you are such a score fanatic. There is no pre-recorded background scene music throughout the film. All the music heard in the film is performed live and on screen. Because
my God,
the way the film is set up is Sydney, the man that Rachel's marrying, is a musician, just as Tunde is a musician in real life. But in the film, he's a musician. So he's got all these musician friends that are hanging out around the house throughout the weekend. And they are just playing music throughout the weekend. And sometimes it's cool. Sometimes they're playing and it's a little like maddening. And it kind of, you get the sense it's adding to the like constant bombardment of just overwhelm for Kim, because they just never shut up. Even one moment she's like, are they ever going to stop playing? Yeah. And when she says that, you're just like, oh, right. Those fuckers are doing that music. It's not like, it's not the score. It's just like these fucking guys won't shut up.
Oh, it's brilliant.
But anyways, what did you think of that approach to music in this film, since you're such a music in film fanatic?
Yeah, no, I loved it. I love stuff like that. I thought it was brilliant. And I've had that. My little brother, Jack, is a musician. He is literally nonstop playing the guitar, like always just strumming on it. And there have been times where it's like my family in the room and we're having a heated discussion and we have to just be like, Jack, please stop. You have to stop. This is like that exact scene has happened in different ways with my family. So I thought it was hilarious as well, because I was like, yeah, I've been there. Right. But yeah, so it adds to the just that grating feeling of, oh God, please stop. I want this to stop. And so, yeah, when they tell them to shut up and then it gets quiet, you're almost like, ooh, now I don't know if this is any better, actually, because now we're really getting into the deep stuff with these characters in the silence.
Right.
Who already struggle to communicate with each other.
The party is put on pause and now they got to get into some real shit.
Mm-hmm. But amazing musicians as well.
Amazing musicians. And it really kind of, it ends so beautifully, because the final moment of the film when Rachel kind of comes into the backyard and she just like looks out at the backyard and sees like that one violin player and Sydney watching the violin player with the dog. And it's just a really gorgeous piece of music that's being played that ends up going over the credits. And it kind of gives you this sense of hope and peace and serenity. Is really powerful.
Yeah.
So anyways, kudos to all the musicians involved, and kudos to Jonathan Demme and everybody involved for like being able to execute that, because like that's also really difficult to do, and it involves like all these other layers of, technical execution that need to really be on point in order for you to be able to pull that off. It helps that Jonathan Demme's directed so many amazing concert films, and probably the greatest concert film ever made by a lot of people's standards, Stop Making Sense. So he has a sense of, how to incorporate live music into a piece. But for a film that involves such intense performances. To have that be a part of it is also just admirable.
Yeah.
Piece of trivia number 2. One of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene of the film, is the dishwasher scene. Where Sydney and the dad go head to head with who's better at loading a dishwasher, and they compete, and it's very entertaining. And it is one of those moments like you were talking about earlier, Bella, where it's like, hey, all right, we're having fun. Everything's going to be great and grand and everything. And then, of course, it ends in the most heartbreaking way ever because they come across a plate that belonged to their little brother, Ethan. So the dad kind of like chokes up and loses it. And it's a real fucking downer. But anyways, I don't think that part, but the dishwasher scene where they're racing to load the disher up allegedly was based on an actual event involving Sidney Lumet, the writer's father, and Bob Fosse.
No way.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So Jenny decided to insert that into the film, and it's very memorable.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorites as well.
All right, and then piece of trivia number 3. This is kind of like 2-part trivia because I found both interesting. Tunde's role of Sidney was originally offered to Paul Thomas Anderson, the director.
Wow.
But he was working on post-production for There Will Be Blood, and I don't think he could pull himself away. So they ended up going with Tunde Adebimpe. The character was originally named Mick, and Sidney requested that they change the name to Sidney to honor Sidney Poitier because he felt a deep connection with Sidney Poitier. So they ended up going with the name Sidney.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really imagine Paul Thomas Anderson in that role.
Neither can I. I mean, I love PTA, obviously.
Yeah.
But he doesn't give you that sense of warmth and immediate comfort that Tunde Adebimpe does.
Yeah, he was like a warm blanket, like a warm hug throughout the whole film, which was so necessary.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, if there was any more frigidness in this, I don't think I could bear it. Honestly.
I could bear it. Yeah, what do you think about this as a double feature with a woman under the influence, huh?
Oh, I would not survive it. I'd need to be hospitalized after that. Really fun to see Anne Hathaway go dark, to be honest. I feel like a lot of the roles I see her in are a little bit more uplifting, but she just proves she can do it all.
Yeah,
especially being so young.
Most of the films that I have watched of Anne Hathaway are like the dark movies. Like I said,
interesting.
Her introduction to, or my introduction to her was to get like Brokeback Mountain. It's like, another heavy piece. I didn't see this like too long after that. So they're like, these were like my introductions to Anne Hathaway. And then I came to the comedic stuff like way late. Havoc. Have you ever seen Havoc?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's a dark movie too. So like those were the first. So now it's kind of interesting to go back and watch like the comedic stuff. Because for me, I'm like, oh, there's this other part of you.
She can do it all. Yeah.
All right. Rachel Getting Married. I think it's only available on demand. So who wants to give money to Amazon or Google or any of those fuckers? Give your money to your local video stores. Go to Vidiot's Videotech or Cinephile Video if you live in the Los Angeles area, and support your local video stores. If you live in another major city, I'm sure there's at least one video store still standing, fighting the good fight. Help them out. Rent Rachel Getting Married.
All right, up next, we have a movie that probably nearly the whole world probably just rewatched or maybe even watched for the first time with the release of the 20 Years Later sequel this past week or so. You already know it's The Devil Wears Prada. Directed by David Frankel, produced by Wendy Feinerman, and written by Aline Brosh McKenna. The film is based on the 2003 novel by Lauren Weisberger, who had also previously worked as a personal assistant to Anna Wintour, the iconic editor of Vogue. So, yes, rumor has it, this book and movie may or may not have some insider perspectives on Anna Wintour and the world of high fashion.
Which now Anna Wintour's like,
Oh.
all about, now she's doing the press for the new movie and she's posing with Meryl Streep on the cover of magazines and she's at the red carpet. It's like, bitch, when this movie came out, you were like threatening to disown any fashion designers that had anything to do with this film.
Yeah.
So.
I read a quote that when she watched it, she told her friend, "This will go straight to DVD." Well, not really. The film grossed over $326 million worldwide against a budget of,
Wowza.
35 to 41 million, it says. And stars, in my opinion, one of the all-time greatest on-screen ensembles with Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt. Our girl, Anne Hathaway, stars as 23-year-old Andy Sachs, a recent graduate and aspiring journalist who unexpectedly finds herself in the fashion industry as a junior personal assistant to Miranda Priestley, the vicious editor-in-chief of Runway magazine in New York City, played none other than Meryl Streep. On her first day of the job, Andy is immediately subjected to the cutthroat cruelty of her boss and the other runway girls, specifically Miranda's senior assistant, Emily, played by Emily Blunt. With absolutely zero knowledge of the industry and an apparently below average sense of style, Andy doesn't stand a chance at surviving this place. After her first failure, not being able to get Miranda a flight out of Miami during a hurricane, Andy realizes she has to up her game if she's going to make it here. So enlisting the help from Runway's art director, Nigel, played by Stanley Tucci, Andy starts wearing designer clothes from the runway closet, because if she wants to make it in this job, then she better start dressing like it. Through blood, sweat, tears, and truly unflinching determination, Andy works her way up into Miranda's good graces, eventually surpassing Emily when Miranda offers Andy Emily's ticket to join her in Paris for Fashion Week. Unfortunately, the more Andy succeeds in her job, the more her personal life suffers, and just before leaving for Paris, she has a major falling out with her longtime boyfriend and friends. More on that later. In Paris, Andy experiences the extreme highs and lows of the industry. The closer she gets to Miranda, the more she discovers her humanity, for better or worse. In the end, Andy realizes she does have a choice. She can choose to follow in Miranda's footsteps and work her way up the ranks in this cutthroat industry, or she can stay true to herself and follow her passion as a journalist. What will she choose? This movie, I think, is just undeniably fantastic. I mean, we'll see. I feel like you would be hard pressed to meet anyone who's like, "Oh yeah, this movie sucks balls." Like
Sonia hates it.
Oh my God. Okay, well,
not that hard pressed. I live with one.
I knew I would regret saying that. Wait, I'm dying to know. Okay, so do you share a similar sentiment, or do you like this movie?
I love this film. Yeah, I mean, this is one that I've seen about 100 times. This was, I mean, I know I said I only was introduced to like her dark stuff early, but this was one that I saw early. I don't think I saw it in the theater when it came out, but this was one of those movies that was like on cable. Like seemingly every weekend between E and Bravo and like TNT. Like, I don't know. It just was on the TV all the time. And It is one of those movies where if you like are scrolling past it and you see, it's a great title. First of all, The Devil Wears Prada. Like, I don't know. I'm going to click on that. And once it's on, it's just like, I'm not going to turn this off. It's just like too much great stuff to look at. And the dialogue is so great, and Meryl Streep is just Meryl Streep, So I love it. I've seen it so many times. It is one of those like comfort movies for me. This is a great movie if you're sick, if you're like, have to stay home from school or stay home from work or something. this is one of them great stay at home from work day films. The Devil Wears Prada. Put it on there, and it's like, yeah, now I'm having a good time.
True.
So yeah, I love it. And it's like, it's one of those movies that I think has, like, obviously women love this movie. Obviously gay men love this movie because, they're fashionable. I know a lot of straight dudes who love this movie too, even though it is like, many consider it a quote unquote chick flick. But I think this one is like, it kind of breaks, the demographics. And I think it's.
Yeah, I never thought of this as a chick flick. It just feels like that's kind of putting it in a box.
I agree. Yeah.
I
agree.
Like it has elements of it for sure, but it's a bit more than that. No shade to a chick flick. I love a good chick flick.
Yeah. I mean, they like one of the key lines of early in the film is, she's talking with her friends and they're talking about, the jobs that they don't really love, and they toast and they say 2 jobs that pay the rent. It's like, who can't relate to that, Yeah.
Yeah. I have to say, the fact that Anne Hathaway can go toe to toe with Meryl Streep in this movie speaks volumes about her talent as an actor, because Meryl Streep is just operating on another level in this film. Like,
yeah, she's getting like synapses sent from God in this one. I mean, she is. I'm serious. It's out of this world.
No, it really is. Like, it wouldn't be fair to compare this performance to anyone else's. But I do think everyone puts their best foot forward and does match it, not like on the same level, obviously, but no one feels like it all just works so well still, even though she's just the best of the best.
Well, they're doing their best to keep up, which works for the film.
I guess, yeah,
that's the whole dynamic of the picture. So everybody's just like racing to keep up with Meryl, and that is perfect because in the film, everybody is racing to keep up with Miranda.
That's so true. Exactly. Oh, she's so funny in this too. Just one of the most quotable movies of all time. And the way that she can just shoot those daggers with her eyes and just like one look. Like that scene when Andy snorts at the 2 different belts that she thinks looks exactly the same is genuinely terrifying. My stomach dropped when when Miranda like whips her head to look at her, and then cue one of the most iconic monologues of all time.
Something funny? No, nothing's, it's just that both those belts look exactly the same to me. I'm still learning about this stuff and, This stuff? Oh, okay, I see. You think this has nothing to do with you. You go to your closet and you select, I don't know, that lumpy blue sweater, for instance, because you're trying to tell the world that you take yourself too seriously to care about what you put on your back. But what you don't know is that sweater is not just blue. It's not turquoise. It's not lapis. It's actually cerulean. And you're also blithely unaware of the fact that in 2002, Oscar de la Renta did a collection of cerulean gowns. And then I think it was Yves Saint Laurent, wasn't it, who showed cerulean military jackets. I think we need a jacket here. And then cerulean quickly showed up in the collections of 8 different designers. And then it filtered down through the department stores and then trickled on down into some tragic casual corner where you no doubt fished it out of some clearance bin. However, that blue represents millions of dollars and countless jobs. And it's sort of comical how you think that you've made a choice that exempts you from the fashion industry when, in fact, you're wearing a sweater that was selected for you by the people in this room from a pile of stuff.
There's 2 scenes for me in the movie that really elevate the script into like this, like, okay, this is, a fun movie, into like, okay, now we have stakes. Now we have drama, and it's that cerulean speech. Is that the name of the color?
That's the one. Yeah.
The speech that Stanley Tucci also gives, talking about like why runway is important and why fashion is important and why it matters to him and to the world, and that she's actually hasn't been trying that hard. She's just been like, going to work. Those two moments right there, I think, really elevate this script into something that is just like, okay, I'm invested now, because I'm not like, I can appreciate fashion, but I'm not like a fashionista. I'm not very knowledgeable of it. But with those two moments of the film, I'm like, I want to be,
Yeah.
It's like hearing Miles talk about wine in Sideways. It's like, I'm not really a wino, but I want to be because of the way that you talk about it, because of your passion for it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not even going to begin to try to touch on the fashion in this movie because I wouldn't know where to start. But it is incredible.
Yes.
Oh, Stanley Tucci's character is so great in this because one, Andy needs a friend in the industry because it's too dark without him.
Yep.
But I love that he, in a maybe less abusive and appropriate way, pushes Andy to be like the best version of herself and always believes in her. Like Miranda does that in her own way. That's very toxic, and it definitely it does work, but it does not make it okay. What's his name? Nigel deserves some credit for Andy's growth as well, because I mean, without that speech and their friendship, I don't think she would be where she is at the end of the film.
Right. The other thing that I really love in this film is a masterclass of the montage. There are some excellent montages in this film. 3 montages, in fact.
I was going to say, this movie is a montage to an extent.
The opening credits sequence, which is like Andy getting ready with her humble TJ Maxx, wardrobe that is intercut through like all these supermodels, and their boutique lingerie and panties and wonderful extravagant outfits and what they're eating for breakfast and counting, almonds and what she's eating for breakfast and onion bagel. It's a great opening montage, and it like does so much to tell like who she is and this world that she's about to step into.
Yeah.
Then we got the jacket purse montage of a whole bunch of shots of Miranda just throwing her jacket and purse on Anne Hathaway's desk. That is brilliant. And then my favorite montage, of course, and I think what is one of the greatest montages ever. And they tried to replicate it in the new one, and it does not hold a candle to it, unfortunately. In fact, I wish they had just taken that montage out because it pales in comparison. But it is the Vogue montage. It is to the tune of Vogue by Madonna. And it is of Andy walking the streets of New York on her way to work. And with each passing car that crosses frame, Andy's got a new outfit on. And then a background extra will cross the frame and she's got a new outfit on. And with each cross, she's got a little bit more pep in her step. She's got a little bit more confidence in the heels that she's wearing. And she opens the door and crosses through the door. And then she's in another outfit. And we cross through over a table and then she's in another outfit. It is one of the most brilliant and fun. And I mean, it's got Madonna in it, obviously, so that helps. But it's just a montage that I could just watch a million times and not get tired of it.
It's almost the first thing I think of when I think of this movie.
It is awesome. It is awesome. If I do anything in my career even close to as cool as that, I will have called it a good life, because man, that thing kicks ass.
It's amazing. I thought that this movie, I watched this when I was really young. I thought this movie was like real when I was little. And I think it's because like they have like Heidi Klum in it, and they have some of like the actual, fashion superstars in it during those scenes. But even just like the production design, the way they designed, what's it called, Miranda's office, and I especially love Nigel's space, because as the art director, it's just like the walls are covered with inspiration, like inspo. It's basically just like one mood board around him. Just seeing that as a kid, I was like, oh my God, this is real life. Like that's a big girl job, and that's what the fashion industry is like. So shout out to the production designer, because you really built this whole world, which is pretty incredible. I have to ask you, because I feel like it's a contentious subject of the film, is what are your thoughts on the boyfriend? Is he a shitty boyfriend or a normal boyfriend?
Well, in my mind, he's a shitty boyfriend, but she's also a shitty girlfriend.
Okay.
So, they're not meant for each other, which is why I don't really like the ending where it kind of gives you hope that they, could and should end up together. It's like, they're not right for each other,
Yeah.
She's zigging, he's zagging. That's what it is. It's fine. So, yeah, I think he is a little unsupportive in what she's trying to do and, her deal. Mm-hmm. She's also, a little shitty, and she needs to be, like if she wasn't, if she wasn't shitty, then you don't have a movie,
That's true.
As I'll get into in the next fucking movie. But, like the whole concept of this movie is this person is selling her soul to the devil, so that is, she's going to be shitty. So I know there's strong heat on the Letterboxd and all this stuff about it, but it's just, in my opinion, it's just what the screenplay needed. I think he, I have whenever I watch the movie, I'm like, God damn you asshole, like also she said she was going to do it for 1 year, like that's all you got to do is just ride it out with her for 1 year. But then it starts to become clear, like, okay, maybe she's not going to do it for 1 year. And, Sonia actually pointed that out to me. So that was one of her, qualms with the whole piece as well. So it was like, all right. But then at the end, you realize, like, okay, well, it all works out at the end.
Yeah.
The friends, on the other hand, or more specifically, like her girlfriend, to me, she's a little bit more of the person who I have some problems with.
I agree. She's mean.
Well,
and
it's like
also like all up in her business. I was like, I feel like she has a crush on her boyfriend.
All up in her business. It's like you got all these issues with her job, but you didn't have an issue with her job when you got that free Coach bag now, did you?
Exactly.
You guys are getting free gifts here, free gifts there. And then when she's got a call from her boss, you're playing toss around the cell phone. Like, that's not what supportive friends do. Mad. Come on now. Yeah. What are we? What is this? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. I would literally, I mean, this is just the difference between, never mind. I'm not going to go there. I would beat the shit out of my fucking friends if they did that. I smack them across the face.
I know she was not mad enough in that scene for me. That had me livid. I was like, dump these lame ass friends, please. These are not your friends. These are bullies.
Right. So yeah, but again, it's drama. You need drama in a movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not a good movie, pal. It all just adds,
You're right. It's true.
If anything, if I have one complaint of it, is like, it needed more. I think the boyfriend should have been shittier, and she should have been shittier to the boyfriend. I think it's all.
Oh, that would have been funny.
I think it's a little too vanilla, the whole boyfriend Andy thing. I think it should have gone farther.
Maybe that's why so much of it falls on the boyfriend, because everyone's just like, oh, what a piece of shit. Why isn't he supporting her more in her work?
Yeah.
It's like, I get both sides, because I think I love how much commentary is like, what a little baby. She forgot your birthday. And it's like, well, I mean, that would suck.
She didn't forget his birthday. She just didn't make it to the party.
Yeah. So it's.
She showed up with a cupcake and a candle after.
I thought that was sweet. She's doing what she can. And then he's like, what am I, a baby? I'm not mad about that. I was like, you're clearly mad about that,
right,
girl. I think you're right. Actually, until I've seen this movie a million times, but clearly I have not. I'd maybe check out at the end, because this was the first time I realized that they like possibly end up back together. I thought that was like their closure scene. And I was pissed. I was like, this makes no sense. Like you said, they're not right for each other.
I was like, you just got this job you just got a journalist job. That's what you want. You're working for a New York publication, and now you're flirting with the idea of going back to Boston with this fucking schmuck.
Oh,
no,
God, that's a nightmare.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it, Andy.
Anyways,
I was fine with the whole dynamic and the way it all plays out until that final scene where I'm just like, this does not make a whole lot of sense.
I just want to shout out, and we can cut this if we want, but just 3 Miranda quotes.
Oh yeah,
that I
please,
love.
yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for some movie quotes. You know what gets me going? Quotes from my favorite movies. We're coming for you, baby.
1, and these are maybe 2 a little more underrated, 1 classic. The first is when, I don't even remember what's happening in the scene, but she goes, "Why is no one ready?"
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I use that on set all the time. Oh yeah. Because I love it so much, and people know what I'm pulling it from, or those who know laugh, and then those who don't are like, "What a dick!"
Oh shit! Why is no one ready? It's so good. And then the second one is in that montage you talked about with her dropping off her coat and her bag, and she tells Andy, "Where's that piece of paper I had in my hand yesterday morning?"
Oh my God. If you've ever been an assistant for, somebody, like this, like a higher up, like they will literally ask you questions like this. Like,
oh yeah.
I used to work for, a producer who I won't mention right now, but he would literally say crazy shit like that. Or just like, he like ask questions about like his kid's homework or something. And just like, oh, what? Like, this is the first time I'm hearing about what is happening? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyways, yes.
It's so funny.
That
piece of paper.
What happened to that piece of paper I had in my hand? So good. So good.
Oh, I love it. And then the last one that's very popular but gets me every single time is, "By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how it thrills me."
Fuck yeah. That is fucking gold, man.
It's so good.
Man, Miranda's my hero. I don't care. Like, she's a devil, but I love her, man. She is my hero. Like, I would watch her and just write down shit all day. Be like, I'm using that. I'm using that. Oh. I'm using that. You know how much I like to make people feel bad about themselves, Bella.
Oh my God. I love it. I mean, she's great at it. So
you got to learn from the best.
Got to learn. Yeah, I got to study.
You got to learn from the best. You got to study the best. Anyways, The Devil Wears Prada, or in this case, The Devil Wears Hokas, if you're referring to me. It is available to stream a lot of places. I think it's on HBO Max, it's on Hulu, and it's on Disney Plus. So, check it out where you like. HBO Max, probably the best.
Yeah.
After I don't trust Disney Plus after our whole Adventures in Babysitting fiasco.
I know. The betrayal. I mean, come on.
The absolute backstabbery.
Makes no sense.
Oh, I'm going to get worked up again. Just in time for the final film.
We can't go there.
But before we get into that final film, we're going to take a break, everybody. During that break, you're going to hear from LADFF director, Gimme 3 producer, and my wife, Sonia Maru, for a segment that we call Sonia's Movie Minute. So stick around for that and much more right here on the Gimme 3 podcast.
Hello, I'm Sonia, and this is my Movie Minute. Last week was my darling husband's birthday, and the only gift he wanted was a movie date to see Blue Heron. Well, this film is far from festive, but I'm so glad we saw it. Blue Heron invites us into a brief moment in the life of a family as they contend with the unraveling psyche of their eldest son. The film is told from the perspective of the youngest child, the only daughter. She tells us at the start that her memories of her brother are unreliable and incomplete. The film is her recreating and filling in those memories. It's also a deeply moving tribute to both her brother and her parents. Like one of the other films from this episode, Rachel Getting Married, we're immersed in a family that has no choice but to revolve around someone who everyone is equally worried about and afraid of. And like Rachel Getting Married, the film also invites us to feel empathy for people in immense pain who end up leaving a path of destruction in their wake. As someone who was a self-destructive teen and ended up being a teacher as an adult, I've been on both sides, and I think Blue Heron really nails something universal while also being completely personal. Definitely check it out, and if you can't find it in theaters, I'm sure it'll have a streaming home soon.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Gibby 3 podcast. And we are discussing the wonderful, the acclaimed, the prolific, the very talented Anne Hathaway. It is the year of Hathaway. She's got 5 films coming out this year, and thus we are exploring some of the greatest works of her career, some of the most iconic works, you may say, of her career. We started with her first Academy Award nominated performance in Rachel Getting Married by Jonathan Demme. And then, of course, we continued on to The Devil Wears Prada, which has just seen a sequel come out to the big screen. And now we're going to go back to the roots, the beginning of her career with her big hit role. Ain't that right, Bella?
Oh, yeah. Back to the beginning. For both me and Anne, as I said earlier, this was my introduction to Anne Hathaway. And yeah, her breakout role as Amelia Thermopolis in Disney's The Princess Diaries. Disney bought the rights to the book, written by Meg Cabot, and co-produced the film with Whitney Houston's Brown House Productions. They brought in Deborah Martin Chase.
Hold on. Whitney Houston. Oh, my God.
Yep.
Whitney Houston's production company was called Brown House Productions?
I guess so.
And she was... That's sad. Nobody said anything.
Nobody said a word.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. That just really threw me. I almost fell down.
You fell out of your chair. Yep. Whitney Houston's Brown House Productions. They brought in Deborah Martin Chase, who had just produced Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Brandy Norwood. Classic Disney TV movie. You may have seen it back in the day. Probably more Gen Z. But anyways, and they also had Gina Wenkos to adapt the script, with Pretty Woman director Gary Marshall at the helm. So next they needed their Princess Mia, of course. Cue 18-year-old Anne Hathaway, who apparently auditioned during a 26-hour layover in LA while she was on her way to shoot a movie called The Other Side of Heaven in New Zealand. And she charmed the socks off of Gary Marshall and everyone in the room, especially after falling out of her chair with nerves. So proving not only could she play the clumsy, funny, awkward teenager, but she could also command the room with the graceful authority of a princess. The extraordinary and semi-retired at the time Julie Andrews essentially came out of retirement and back to the silver screen for this film as Queen Clarice, Mia's grandmother. It was her first Disney movie, actually, since Mary Poppins, which was 37 years earlier. The film also stars Caroline Goodall as Mia's mom, Heather Matarazzo as Mia's best friend Lily, Robert Schwartzman as Michael, Lily's brother and later Mia's love interest, Hector Elizondo as Joe, her driver and bodyguard, 16-year-old Mandy Moore, who would go on to become a Disney princess herself as Rapunzel in Tangled, plays Mia's bully named Lana. And of course, I have to mention Sandra Oh as Vice Principal Gupta, one of my favorite characters of all time. That's just to name a few. So into the story, I'll set the stage. Mia Thermopolis is a sweet, awkward 15-year-old girl living in San Francisco with her free-spirited artist mother. Teased by the popular kids after a truly embarrassing display of nervous public speaking in her debate class, Mia is determined to stay invisible at all costs. Her plans are completely upended when her estranged grandmother, Clarice, arrives from the small European kingdom of Genovia with shocking news. After the recent passing of Mia's father, Mia is now the heir to the Genovian throne. But Mia has zero interest in princess living or the responsibilities that come with it. Eventually, she's forced to compromise, so for the next 3 weeks, she will attend princess lessons with Clarice, leading up to the Genovian Independence Day ball, where she will officially decide whether to accept or reject the crown. So Princess Boot Camp ensues. Mia endures a rigorous schedule of etiquette lessons, learning how to walk, talk, sit, and act like a princess. And of course, to complete the transformation from awkward teen to princess, one must have a classic movie makeover montage involving straightened hair, waxed eyebrows, and contact lenses. While she's starting to look and live like a princess, Mia still doesn't feel like one. Things take an even more intense turn when the press gets wind of her existence, turning her into a celebrity overnight. All at once, Mia finds herself dealing with a falling out with her best friend, the crushing pressure of constant media scrutiny, and cruel manipulation and betrayal from the popular kids. She reaches her breaking point on the night of the Genovian Independence Day ball when she learns she'll be expected to publicly announce, in front of everyone, whether she will rule or abdicate. She makes a break for it, that is until she discovers a letter from her late father who imparts the wisdom of facing your fears and taking the journey to discover who you truly are. Inspired by his words, Mia returns to the ball and delivers her most confident speech yet, accepting her role as Princess of Genovia. This movie was apparently a sleeper hit, appealing to all audiences. It made Anne Hathaway a household name and remains a beloved film for many 25 years later. It is definitely one of many of my comfort films, and I am just dying to know what you thought of it as a first-time watch, Nick, because I am so brainwashed with nostalgia for it that there's no hope for me in seeing it as anything other than just an extreme shot of serotonin. So there's no hope for me, but...
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the word brainwashed, because that is exactly what this kind of slop is. It's brainwashing. Here's the thing. I can see why this film made Anne Hathaway a star. She is incredibly charming. We're seeing her at the dawn of her career. She has comedic chops that are really out here on display. She does this physical comedy stuff, and I'm not talking about the 1900 times that she falls out of a chair for no reason. I'm talking about some other like physical comedic beats that really, I'm just like, hey, you're funny. Like Lucille Ball level of like physical comedy stuff that she does with her face, or like little mannerisms and stuff that I'm just like, she's got it. So yeah, I love Anne Hathaway. Before I get into my thoughts, I want to hear about your history with this film, you growing up with it, and why you love it, because maybe I can be persuaded.
Yeah. Here. I don't know. I mean, I say brainwashed because that's how it feels like. It's just, I'm going
to explain why it's brainwashing.
I honestly, I don't know if I can even articulate it, but I had it on VHS. It was just the go-to for any scenario. Like, I think I watched this movie a lot with my grandparents. Mm-hmm. I was the firstborn child on my mom's side of the family, which is the family that lived closest to me.
Right.
So movies were kind of like my best friend, because, if the grown-ups had to go and do something, they would just plop me down in front of the TV. And that was how I would just, that's who I would hang out with for a little bit.
Right.
And Princess Diaries was one of those movies that it was just like, oh, that's the obvious choice. We're watching Princess Diaries.
It's rated G.
It's rated G, but like, yeah, it's, maybe does not appeal to adults as much. My dad loves this movie. He thinks it's hilarious. Like, I don't know if he loves it in like, I think it might be a more ironic way. Like, he's kind of making fun of it. But any chance he gets, he's quoting the my name is Mia Thermopolis, like final speech that she gives. He just gets such a kick out of it. I think we all just loved Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
I think you said it earlier, like she just is this movie.
Yeah.
And that's why we picked it as well. Not only is it her breakout role, but when you think of Anne Hathaway, so many people think of this film, even though it's maybe not the best movie, even if it doesn't hold up all these years later. And maybe it never did, but it worked for me.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Like if I were a little girl growing up, you know, I could see how I might enjoy the Princess Diaries because, you know, all the little girls are brainwashed into believing that being a princess is great and just the dream of all dreams.
Yeah.
However, try as I might, I am not a little girl. And I gotta say, I can't remember the last time a film worked less for me than the Princess Diaries.
Oh my God. I'm like weirdly excited to hear this.
I just found this film to be absolutely toxic. It's just what messaging are we given here to little girls?
Yeah,
we've got this young woman who is, I mean, Anne Hathaway is objectively beautiful. Like that's just like not debatable.
Could never make her ugly.
And
ever.
it's just like, you know, she's got curly hair and glasses and eyebrows and the stylist literally screams in her face when he sees her. And I'm just like, okay. I just don't buy it. I don't find that funny, you know?
It's horrible.
But more than that, the quote unquote training for her to become a princess is this makeover. And teaching her how to sit and teaching her how to wave. She learns nothing about like the population of Genovia, the social economic situation of Genovia. Can we teach her how to talk with other countries and negotiate social goods for her nation? Nope, we're just going to tweeze her eyebrows. That'll make her a princess. It's just, what the fuck? They set up this whole debate scene in the beginning too, where she can't, you know, debate. And I'm like, all right, they're going to come pay that off because, you know, she's going to be like, you know, a woman of the government now. So now she's going to have to do some big debate at the end. No, she just can't debate. She can't play sports. She can't debate. She can't really do anything except get a makeover in this film. And she gets a makeover and she's handed a crown and she upsets the crown and all's well that ends well, I guess. No, this is a terrible message for little girls and children in general to receive. And there are two scenes in this film that literally, I mean, if I had a tomato in my hand, I would have thrown it at my own television. Scene number 1. Anne Hathaway has been working on this Mustang that, you know, she has. And she's been working on it to get fixed. And when I say she's been working on it, I mean a whole bunch of working class poors have been working on this car to get it fixed for her.
Right.
And she can't drive. She does not even know how to drive the car. So there's one scene where she's driving the car with the queen, her grandmother, and they live in San Francisco. So there's all these hills, you know, and the cars are rolling back and she can't like, you know, manage the thing. And the car rolls back into a trolley, public transportation. All these working class people, you know, probably on their way to pick up their kids or head to their second jobs, are disrupted when the car crashes into them, nearly killed. Somebody could have died.
That's really bad.
So naturally, the trolley operator and a nearby cop are absolutely upset, and they're livid, and they're like, "What in God's name?" Mia doesn't even have a license, by the way. The queen doesn't have her license. But somehow the queen convinces these two fucking schmucks that it's all good. And these fools, these two grown men who are city folk bend the knee literally to the queen and this princess, and she pretend knights them
Yeesh.
You know, about a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Christopher Columbus and his approach and his treatment to family films and how much respect he has for his audience and how he has respect for the child audience. Like he treats them, not like they're idiot. My intelligence was insulted watching this scene. I was absolutely embarrassed.
Oh, I get that.
Again, what messaging are we giving out here? That you can just haplessly destroy public property, but if you're a princess, it's all good? Who's going to pay for that? The taxpayers? Who's paying for this?
It's insured. We're insured.
Motherfuck. Okay, then there's this other scene where, Mia's been fucking up, but not really fucking up. She's just been bombarded by press. And, whatever. So now everybody's viewing her as a failure for some reason. It makes absolutely no sense. But anyways, she's all sad. And there's this room where she's like sitting in a room and she says to a framed motherfucking picture of her father, the prince, who she's never met.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Sorry, I let you down, daddy," or something bullshit like that. What? You never met this man. And it's not because he wasn't alive for most of your life. He was alive until 2 months ago. This man was a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, the dad stuff is really confusing.
It's half-baked.
Yeah.
He didn't show up just for, like, I don't know, some bitch-ass excuse. Like, what is happening here? Oh, they said, like, he paid for her private school. A lot of good that's done her. She's got shitty friends. She's got shitty clothes. She can't debate. They say she's smart in the movie. We have zero evidence of that other than that she wears glasses. What smart thing does she do in this film?
It's really true. I can't think of much. We don't get to really, that is one thing. We don't get to know her as well as maybe I'd like to before the princess stuff.
Yeah, that's a fucking massive, huge detriment to the film.
Yeah, it really is.
This private school has hurt her.
Yeah, we just know that she gets bullied.
And it's like, big.
So shitty.
I grew up, it's just crazy. Like, okay. I mean, I grew up without a father, I never met the man.
Yeah.
He paid child support.
Yeah.
He paid a fucking bill once a month. That does not make him a good father. Okay. It's like, you paid for a child. He paid for the school. It's like, he's a fucking prince. That's all he did.
That's
all he did. Like,
right.
Elon Musk is a better father than this fucking piece of shit. He wrote a letter. Break out the tissues. I'm touched. Oh, fuck. You got to be shitting me. This was an absolute abysmal piece of work.
Oh, my God.
The needle drops in this movie are like some of the worst music I've ever heard in my life. I don't know a single pop song that was played in this film. And this was my era. It came out in 2001. Like, I was like, how do I know not one of these pop songs? This movie had like a $30 million budget. You've got Mandy Moore in the film. Give me some fucking Candy, baby. Like,
I know.
Who picked these songs?
That's a really good question. I guess I meant to look it up and I was kind of just convinced that they just like made up a bunch of songs and had Mandy Moore sing them.
Oh God, that Mandy Moore song that she sings in the beach. Oh God. I was like, Mandy Moore can sing. Why are you like giving her this terrible song and the like you having her whisper the like
Yeah, that was stupid Cupid.
Stupid Cupid.
Oh my God. You make very valid points. This is what I mean when I say this is funny. This is what I mean when I say I'm brainwashed and I can't even think straight and I'm just like transported back to being 2 years old watching this with no thoughts. Is that when it ended and I was writing the intro, I actually did have to look up the father's letter because I had no idea what that whole scene. I literally was, I guess, just blacked out, and I was like, I actually don't even know what he said to her in that letter. Like, what is the thing that made her go back? And then I was like reading through it online. I was like, oh, this sucks. This really sucks. This is a shitty letter to receive from father who just like doesn't
abandoned you,
care about you.
Abandoned you.
Yeah, very much
It's like,
so.
oh, I loved your mother. It's like, no, you didn't, clearly.
Yeah, and then he says, and then it doesn't even say like I think of you. Like, yeah, it was a really strange letter. But
Also, why is there a Genovian Independence Day if there's a royal family?
I was thinking that. I was like, what independence from what?
Yeah, that's not very independent that you have a king and a queen.
Okay, none of it makes any sense, Nick. You just have to accept that there's no logic, and then you can enjoy it.
No, because once you accept that there's no logic, then what you're left with is really terrible fucking performances, really weird editing, a movie that looks like it's made for TV or something, like the worst needle drops imaginable. No, like there's no in for me. Like I can't find any. I would sooner rewatch Christmas in the Spotlight than watch this, honestly.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Now that hurts.
I'm sorry.
That hurts.
I'm sorry. It's just true. It's just true.
What about Julie Andrews?
They give her nothing to do. She has absolutely nothing.
True.
I was like, you came out of retirement for this? To what?
Yeah.
For what? Oh, to get paid.
Yeah. It's very name droppy in the sense of like, well, of course I love Julie Andrews. But yeah, she doesn't do much.
This was just one of those movies where I was just like, Disney is a fucking evil corporation, man. Like they made this movie to keep little girls dreaming of the princess shit so that way they can buy the Disney princess shit. That's all this movie is, because it has absolutely no depth.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't even have anything to argue with. I'm just like, you're not wrong.
And you threw out that brainwash word first when we started this movie, and I wasn't even going to use that, but that is the perfect word to use.
I'm a victim.
Movie. It brainwashes little girls and society at large to just be like, yo, the royal family is, what it's all about. And you should be, it's all about being a princess and all that. It's just like, no, fucking listen to Sex Pistols instead.
Oh my goodness. This is so good. Yeah, it's really funny to hear that, because the makeover scene is such an iconic scene for people who've watched this movie. And then watching it now, you're kind of like, I don't know. I never thought twice about it back then, I guess. Like when I was really little. As I grew older, I was like, oh, this is fucked up. But I guess in a sick way, I thought it was kind of funny, because it was just like,
a beautiful woman, Bella. You are so beautiful, and you got big curly hair.
Yeah, I have all the things that they get rid of in this.
And I'm like, this
like
is
glasses, bushy eyebrows, and curly hair.
This is not right. At the end, when she comes back, I was like, all right, she's going to come back with curly hair, and the glasses, and she's going to be like, this is me, and I'm the princess as myself, No, she's still got the straight. No, they show her on the plane, and she looks like they made her up. I was like,
yeah,
this is really bad. Bad.
It is really bad.
That's why it's toxic. I think it really did a lot of poisoning of the youth of this film. I really do. And they used to get mad at me for listening to like hip hop, in this era, and Marilyn Manson. It's like, hey, at least my fucking brain was moving,
Well, and what's confusing, I think, as well, is at the end she gives her speech she's like sopping wet, and she's wearing like a hoodie and jeans and Docs. I don't know. In that way, I was like, okay, are they trying to be like, it doesn't matter what you look like? But they don't go there.
No, the very next scene, she's like all dolled up.
Yeah, exactly. On her way to Genovia. But so yeah, I don't. The messaging of this movie, I agree, is very toxic, and somehow it's amazing that Anne Hathaway was able to like make so many people like this movie at the time, because like, I don't know what we said earlier. I feel like she is this movie.
She's got charisma.
If anyone likes this movie, it's because of her.
Totally.
It's not for like the plot. What's crazy is I read that this was almost given to, I think they did give it to Juliette Lewis, and she said no.
Oh, I read Liv Tyler, so maybe it was both.
Oh, yes, and she was someone too.
Yeah.
So would have been a very different movie with them as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like everything, now that I'm looking through my notes, a lot of it is like stuff that I don't like in the movie. Maybe this is a bad movie. I mean, we know it is now.
It's an awful movie. It's really awful.
Oh, that's so funny. I guess I'll have to change my 4-star rating.
Can't believe, I literally couldn't believe my eyes. And what I was like,
this is the movie that she was excited for me to watch?
No, more than that. I mean, like a lot of people like this movie. And I was just like, the film, we get to the end and it was just like, I was like, literally the end of the movie is like, it literally is showing little girls everywhere.
Yeah.
That being a princess is way better than being true to yourself. And that a royal home is way better than a home that's filled with love and art.
Yeah. Oh my God. Her refurbished firehouse studio is awesome.
Yeah.
I think there's things like that I made me love the film as a kid too. It was just like, oh, her life is so cool, even before she was a princess.
Mm-hmm. Exactly,
which is good.
It was.
She had it almost got
mom. She had some cool friends. Her friends are musicians, and like she seemed like an individual, and they don't really go into it. And then she just changes everything about herself. It's wrong.
Yeah,
and like the Devil Wears, like Sonia started watching it, and she's like, I gotta walk out. And that's one of the reasons why she doesn't like Devil Wears Prada is because like you have this smart girl who like changes everything about herself. But with the Devil Wears Prada, it's like, okay, that's the conflict. She's selling herself, selling her soul to the devil. And then she comes to the realization like, hey, this is not who I am. I'm going to be a journalist. That's what I came here to do. Even if that means I'm working for a smaller publication, I'm going to be Andy. I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to write. That's not what we get with this film.
That's so true. Yeah. She walks away from it, and in this, she does not. She doesn't have a choice, really.
Which is another terrible message for young girls. You don't have a choice.
I know. Yeah. It's your decision, but also you have no choice. Another, it really is. It is funny that it's Scary Marshall because it really is just like Pretty Woman, but for babies in a way. This is maybe going to get me hate mail. I fucking hate Pretty Woman. That movie does not work for me at all.
It's a problematic film.
Yeah. And I don't find any aspect of it charming whatsoever, except for, I guess, Julia Roberts, because I love her.
Julia Roberts is charming and Richard Gere is hot.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't do it for me, but I respect that. But yeah, he basically just like made that again with a teenager, which is weird. And I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's just kind of the more I think about it, it's just there's no way around it. I can't argue that this movie has any good messaging. Every time I watch this movie, I'm sick to I hate her friend so much.
Oh yeah. Her friend's trash, but I mean
she's evil.
That it's
like and her brother, the love interest, I also think is evil. Yeah,
he's not so much evil as he is just a little bitch, It's just like,
yeah, I mean, he's like a moody, broody, aloof Bob Dylan wannabe. He's like got the harmonica. Oh, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I really hate that guy. I literally would rather she end up with Josh Stummass than Michael. No words for Princess Diaries. No redemption. Besides Queen Anne. We love her.
I love Anne. I do love Anne.
She's so great. And I agree. She is. I love that you said Lucille Ball because she totally has moments of that in this.
Yeah, had it not been for Anne, I would have turned this movie off and I would have been like, sorry, Bella, we're going to have to pick another one. Sorry, audience who voted for this in overwhelming numbers. I think it's what got 70% of the vote, got like 35 votes compared to, I don't even know what was in second place. Something got, The Intern.
The Intern did pretty well, which I haven't seen. And then we also put up The Idea of You, which I did watch just because Anne Hathaway is in it.
Yeah.
And I would pretty much watch anything she does, clearly.
Yeah.
She's just that girl.
Oh, well, that's the thing. That's what makes a star is like whatever she's in, I'll watch. And that's why I was excited to watch this because, it's got Anne Hathaway in it.
Now you know.
Now I know. Now I know. But it won't. Here's the thing. She, like we said, she is so charismatic. She's bringing the riz. It made her a star. And for that, I'm happy that she did it. Because had it not been for this movie, we wouldn't have perhaps the Anne Hathaway career that we have to appreciate and love.
Wait till you watch Princess Diaries 2.
I shan't.
It's got Chris Pine.
It could have Jesus fucking Christ in it. I wouldn't watch it.
Oh, well, any final thoughts on Princess Diaries? Forgot the name. It's starting to, I'm blocking it out. I have to.
I don't know. I mean, I could,
for the greater good.
I could rip it for another 40 minutes, but I feel like I've made my point.
I have the letterbox pulled up and I just keep reading the log line that's she rocks, she rules, she reigns. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if any of that is true.
That is corporate
anymore.
Fucking lingo right there. Some Disney stooge wrote that tagline and patted himself on the back.
This is my final thought because Sandra Oh is one of my favorite characters. I fucking love Sandra Oh. She's another person who can do anything, then I will watch it. I think she's so funny in this movie. And so if anyone loves her as well, I just wanted to shout her out as a final thought. Okay, well, that's a wrap on Anne Hathaway.
Yes. We love you, Anne.
We love you so much. Even if Princess Diaries didn't live up to the expectations that were set, you always do. So thank you. And I'm so excited now to go see Devil Wears Prada 2. Let us know, listeners, what you guys think of it. If you've seen it already, if it lives up to the hype. Yeah, would love to hear your thoughts. You guys can send us a DM or comment on our Instagram. You can follow us at Gimme3 Podcast. That's GIMME, spell out 3 podcast. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. If you love the show, there are a few quick things you can do to show your support. One is setting our episodes to auto download on Spotify. You just go to our podcast, tap the settings gear, auto download, then you're good to go to listen to us anytime, anywhere, no matter where you are. You can also subscribe to our Patreon for just $5 a month. We have some bonus content saved on there from the past and, get that exclusive content. Also just, as a little donation, support the show. It helps us keep the mics on. Nick, do you want to tell our lovely listeners where they can find you on the socials?
You can find me on Letterboxd, Instagram, or on Blue Sky at Nicholas Ibarra. And Ibarra is spelled with a Y.
Nice. And you guys can find me on Instagram at Portrait of a Cinephile or on Letterboxd at BF Stratus. Thanks again for joining us on the Gimme3 podcast, and we'll see you at the movies.